Okay, imagine this, if you will. You've got a digital asset company, right? Back in 2022, I mean, a really tumultuous year. The whole crypto market felt like it was, crumbling.
Oh, absolutely. It was a scary time for anyone in the space.
And this company, they're basically staring down the barrel of bankruptcy. They've got, like, 6 months, a 6-month lifeline before, poof, the money runs out.
Just 6 months. The pressure must have been immense.
Right. Now, fast forward just a few years to 2025. That same company, not just surviving, but thriving. We're talking projected revenue of, get this, $50 million.
$50 million. Honestly, it's an incredible transformation. It really speaks volumes about needing to adapt in, well, probably one of the most volatile markets we've ever seen.
Definitely reframes the challenge, doesn't it? So today we are diving deep into that exact journey, the really quite extraordinary story of Pudgy Penguins.
Ah, yes, the Pudgy Penguins, an NFT brand.
Exactly. An NFT brand that didn't just, scrape by during the crypto bear market. They came out stronger, more resilient, and honestly, against all odds, are a real powerhouse. And they did it with this bold, really unexpected pivot. Something few in Web3 would have even well thought of.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, right? To unpack exactly how a brand that started purely digital managed to navigate that extreme volatility.
Yeah, how did they do it?
Well, they made this audacious bet on, believe it or not, the tangible world, on toys, and exploring what that unique strategy tells us about, market resilience, maybe the underestimated power of consumer engagement.
And building a brand beyond just the blockchain itself.
Precisely. It's about brand building that transcends the technology.
So for you listening, you're about to get a shortcut to understanding a really crucial, maybe even counterintuitive case study in this constantly evolving world of Web3.
You'll discover some, I think, pretty surprising facts about market dynamics, how a brand can really grow beyond its origins.
And you'll uncover the strategic brilliance, really, behind turning this quirky digital collectible into a physical powerhouse that, well, millions of people seem to love.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where do we start? The company teetering on the brink.
Yeah, let's set the scene. We need to appreciate the scale of this comeback. So cast your mind back. Early 2020s, remember that NFT frenzy?
Oh, vividly. It felt like a gold rush, didn't it? Total mania. Digital assets, pixelated images, digital art, fetching these astronomical prices.
It was this intoxicating mix of innovation, community building, and let's be honest, a whole lot of speculative euphoria.
Definitely a lot of hype. And Pudgy Penguins, even back then, they were already established, a recognizable, kind of beloved NFT collection. They had that distinct art style, a passionate community.
Right, they weren't nobodies. But by early 2022, so well before the market really tanked, they were already feeling the strain. Things were shifting.
Yeah, you could see it. We saw their floor price, which, just quickly for anyone unfamiliar, is basically the lowest asking price for an NFT in that collection, kind of a key indicator of demand and value.
Right, the floor price.
It plummeted, hit an all-time low in April 2022. And this wasn't just a small dip. It was a really clear, frankly unsettling signal that big trouble was brewing for the whole project.
And that's exactly where our central figure, Luca Netz, most people know him as Luca Netz, steps into the picture.
Right, Luca Netz.
He wasn't just some casual observer or a small investor. Nope. He was already a significant holder of Pudgy Penguins NFTs, so he had skin in the game.
He had a vested interest.
And like a lot of the community, he was, let's say, deeply unhappy with how things were going. The performance was deteriorating fast. He saw potential, sure, but it felt mismanaged, like it was spiraling.
Oh, what did he do?
He made a really audacious move. He acquired the parent firm, Igloo, for a cool $2.5 million in ETH, back in April 2022.
Wow, $2.5 million in ETH at that time. That was a substantial sum, especially for a project that, everyone could see was on incredibly shaky ground. Its value was just eroding daily.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of conviction or maybe foresight does it take to buy into a struggling project during a downturn like that?
Exactly. Most people would be running for the hills, trying to offload their assets. But Netz saw something, didn't he? Something others missed. Or maybe they were just too risk-averse to bet on.
He bought it when its market value was basically at rock bottom. A move that, looking back now, was either incredibly smart or just an unbelievably daring gamble.
It really could have gone either way. It points to a different kind of thinking, right? Believing in the underlying brand, maybe, rather than just the short-term asset price.
And just when you thought the gamble couldn't get any riskier, it did. Almost immediately.
Oh yeah, the timing.
Netz had just sunk millions into this contrarian bet. And then, mere weeks after his acquisition, the entire crypto market just gets completely rocked. An unforeseen avalanche hits.
The Terra collapse, May 2022.
Exactly. The Terra ecosystem implosion. This wasn't just a market correction. It was like a shockwave that just ripped through the whole decentralized world, changed everything.
That event, the Terra collapse, it was an absolute game changer, a huge catalyst for what came next. It wasn't just a temporary dip. It triggered this prolonged, brutal bear market.
Brutal is the word.
And NFT assets across the board just tanked. Projects that seemed untouchable, blue chips, their floor prices just crumbled.
So this sudden dramatic downturn, it threatened to turn Netz's multi-million-dollar bet into a complete disaster almost instantly, before the ink was even dry.
The timing just couldn't have been worse for his investment, or maybe, as we'll find out, more crucial in forcing this radical rethink of the whole business.
So put yourself in Netz's shoes here. You've just bet millions on what looks like a sinking ship, and then a tsunami hits the entire ocean just weeks later. Terra wasn't just a bad day. It felt like an existential crisis for crypto.
It really did. It made his gamble look like an immediate catastrophic failure. So what do? The ground just gives way beneath you.
This is where the story gets really compelling, I think. It shows the incredibly dire spot Luca Netz was in. He had to face this stark, urgent reality.
Yeah, he talked about his thinking back then pretty openly, a moment of, like, brutal honesty born from that immense pressure. Netz realized, and I'm quoting him here, this company is going to run out of money in 6 months if I don't start making real money, and it's clear that I'm not going to make any Web3 money.
Wow. Web3 money. Can you unpack that a bit? What did he mean by that?
Sure. So Web3 money typically refers to the revenue streams common in crypto projects at that time. Things like the initial sale of the NFTs themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or royalties from secondary market sales when people trade them.
Okay, the standard NFT model.
It's exactly. Or maybe revenue from token-based ecosystems, DeFi protocols, stuff like that. That was the playbook. But Netz recognized that those traditional Web3 streams, which had seemed so plentiful before, they just weren't going to cut it in that collapsing market. The well had run dry.
That quote just hammers home the immediate, existential pressure. 6 months. That is an incredibly tight deadline, especially when your main business model has just imploded.
It's terrifying.
Can you maybe describe for listeners what usually happens inside a company facing that kind of financial cliff, especially in a young industry like Web3?
Oh, it's absolutely brutal. When you're looking at a 6-month runway, every single decision becomes hypercritical. There's this immediate, almost palpable panic, often followed by just a desperate scramble for any solution.
I can imagine.
You're looking at potential layoffs, which is awful. The painful idea of maybe just having to shut everything down. Or, maybe worst of all for a community-driven project, having to go back to your community, your early backers, cap in hand.
Asking for more money when they probably already lost a ton.
It's exactly. Pleading for more cash when their initial investment might be decimated. For a Web3 company where trust and hype are so crucial, admitting financial distress like that can be the final nail in the coffin. It just forces this radical shift in mindset from growth, from innovation to just pure raw survival.
So the need for a radical, maybe unconventional strategy wasn't just a good idea. It was literal as life or death for Pudgy Penguins.
Absolutely. Pure survival mode.
Okay, so Luca Netz is facing this insane pressure. 6-month clock ticking. The Web3 playbook is useless. And this is where his background, which, might seem totally unconventional for a Web3 CEO, becomes his secret weapon.
Yeah, this is the fascinating part. Let's dive into his journey before crypto, because it gives so much context for the really audacious decision he's about to make.
It's amazing how these, totally different experiences can suddenly become the exact skill set you need in a crisis, isn't it?
It really is, like pieces of a puzzle clicking into place. His childhood, for example, wasn't exactly conventional. His family moved around a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he was constantly adapting to new places, felt a bit disconnected from traditional schooling. But that instability, instead of holding him back, seems to have fueled this relentless drive to innovate, to spot opportunities others missed, to find unconventional paths.
That adaptability sounds like it would be pretty useful in the crypto world.
Incredibly critical, especially given the volatility we've been talking about.
And innovate he did, pretty young too. He made his first $1 million at just 18. 18.
Yeah, incredible, through a dropshipping business on Shopify.
Selling jewelry, right. But the genius wasn't just the product, it was how he promoted it.
Exactly. He leveraged Instagram fan pages, pages dedicated to popular hip-hop artists. He struck deals to get his jewelry featured to their huge engaged audiences.
That's smart, really understanding the platform.
Totally. It wasn't just about moving product. It showed this early, sharp understanding of e-commerce, digital marketing, and crucially, how to build a direct-to-consumer brand by figuring out exactly where your audience is and how to reach them online. He basically mastered connecting products to consumers digitally, built a fortune before most people even start college.
And beyond that, maybe even more relevant to the Pudgy story, he was the chief marketing officer for Gel Blaster.
That's right, Gel Blaster. Not some niche online thing. This was a toy gun, shot water gel pellets. And it wasn't just sold online. It was designed for and got into big box retail stores, like Walmart.
Okay, so actual physical products,
Mhm.
mass market retail.
Exactly. This gave him direct hands-on experience in the consumer products industry, navigating complex logistics, manufacturing, supply chains, negotiating with huge retailers like Walmart, understanding the psychology of a mainstream shopper in a physical store.
Learning about those notoriously thin margins on physical goods, too, I bet.
Absolutely. And the power of brand visibility in traditional retail settings.
So what's just wild here, almost like something out of a movie, is how these seemingly unrelated past lives, drop-shipping jewelry via Instagram, marketing toy guns for Walmart, turned out to be the exact expertise needed to save Pudgy Penguins.
It's uncanny, isn't it? He wasn't just another crypto native talking theory. He was a seasoned entrepreneur with this diverse playbook of real-world business skills. He'd built brands, managed supply chains, understood distribution, not just digital tokens.
So when the NFT revenues dried up, when the whole blockchain world seemed to be collapsing,
He didn't just double down on more Web3 stuff. He didn't chase another token or try to invent some new DeFi protocol. No, he pivoted dramatically. He leaned entirely on that battle-tested consumer products background.
to launch Pudgy Penguins as physical toys.
Physical toys. It was a realization forced by necessity, but also enabled by his unique skill set. He looked at the awful situation, looked at what he knew how to do, and the insight was clear. Physical products were the only thing I knew how to do. He went back to his roots.
And the initial goal you mentioned wasn't even massive profits right away. It was just survival.
Pure survival, he said it himself. The aim was just enough to pay the bill and sustain the company without having to either shut down or ask the community for money. It wasn't a grand growth plan initially. It was a lifeline, keeping the lights on, avoiding that humiliating plea for more funds in a terrible market.
But that lifeline, that survival strategy, it scaled rapidly in a way that must have surprised even him.
Astonishingly fast. Even though, as Netz acknowledged, the toy business is often high revenue but low profit margin, you need volume to make it work. What started as just paying the bills quickly turned into a multi-million-dollar cash cow.
Part testament to getting the product right, understanding consumers, and nailing the distribution, I guess.
Absolutely. They understood that even low margins, if you execute at massive scale, can generate serious cash flow.
And the scale became clear. By May 2024, Luca Netz announces this huge milestone. Pudgy Penguins sold its millionth toy in 1 year.
1 million units. Think about that. From near bankruptcy, 6 months of runway, to moving 1 million physical items. That's not just a comeback. It's like redefining what success can even look like for a Web3 brand.
And it's not slowing down. The
Yeah.
projection now, $50 million in revenue for 2025.
50 million. It's just a staggering turnaround from staring into the abyss just a couple of years earlier.
It really highlights that maybe the most innovative path for a digital native brand isn't always deeper into the digital. Sometimes it's building that bridge back to the physical world.
Leveraging traditional business models, but with modern IP. It's a powerful combination.
So a massive part of this pivot wasn't just what they sold, these cute penguin toys, but crucially, how they reached people, new audiences, way beyond the usual crypto crowd.
Right. And that brings us to social media, specifically Instagram, as a real, maybe unexpected game changer for them. It's such a contrast to how most other crypto projects operate.
Yeah, explain that contrast. Where do crypto projects usually hang out online?
Well, if you look across the crypto landscape, projects overwhelmingly build their communities and do their main outreach on platforms the industry knows well. Twitter, now X for quick updates, public chat,
Sure.
or maybe more closed channels like Discord and Telegram for community governance, deeper chats, that kind of thing. These are where crypto talks happen, where the early adopters, the tech folks, the DGEMs are.
Okay, makes sense. But Instagram.
Instagram, despite having, billions of users globally, being incredibly visual and proven for mainstream brand building, it's often weirdly deprioritized by crypto projects.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe they see it as less suited for deep technical stuff or the rapid-fire market updates common in crypto. I don't know. But it's often overlooked.
But to Luca Netz, overlooking Instagram just didn't make any sense.
Not at all. His view is totally different, shaped by that consumer brand background we talked about. He put this huge, consistent emphasis on Instagram for a very strategic reason, reaching a broader, mainstream audience, people who might not know an NFT from an MP3.
He wasn't just thinking crypto natives. He was thinking about everyday people. Parents buying toys, teenagers scrolling feeds.
Exactly. His Walmart or Target mindset, as you called it, really comes through. He understood that to get that big box retail distribution, which was vital for the toys, the buyers at Walmart aren't looking at NFT market caps or trading volume.
Right. They care about different metrics.
What really moved the needle with traditional brands, he said, was social media presence, mainstream buzz, cultural relevance, not just crypto stats.
It really begs the question then, are loads of crypto projects missing a massive opportunity by not prioritizing platforms like Instagram? Are they limiting their own reach?
It certainly seems plausible. By staying only within the crypto echo chamber, they might be capping their potential for true mainstream adoption and maybe long-term brand survival.
And the numbers for Pudgy Penguins back up this strategy, right? The difference is pretty stark.
Undeniable. Last count I saw, Pudgy Penguins had, what, 1.9 million followers on Instagram?
Yeah, 1.9 million. Compare that to X, where they still have a decent following, but it's significantly smaller, around 728,000.
That huge difference really underlines how successful Netz's approach has been at tapping into a mass market, an audience much larger and arguably more relevant for selling toys.
And it's not just the numbers, it's the type of content too, isn't it? Their Instagram isn't full of crypto jargon.
Not at all. It's engaging, high-quality reels, telling these little stories, often with two animated penguins. It's whimsical, narrative-driven.
Fun, digestible stuff.
Exactly. Not dry crypto news or trading calls. It's entertainment. It builds this broader cultural brand that goes way beyond the niche crypto community. It appeals to anyone who likes cute characters and engaging short videos.
So, connecting the dots, it's about accessibility. Reaching people who don't need to understand NFTs to love the character.
Precisely. It's classic brand building, really effective brand building, just applied to a Web3 IP. Making an abstract digital thing relatable and lovable to the masses. It has a deep understanding of how to connect.
Okay, let's zoom out again for a sec. Talk about the wider market context, because it makes the Pudgy Penguin story even more amazing. For the last couple of years, especially after that 2022 crash,
Yeah.
it felt like every week some media outlet was declaring the NFT market dead. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. The narrative was relentless. Hype over, bubble burst, digital collectibles were just a fad. Widespread skepticism, even outright dismissal.
And there was data supporting that feeling, right? The market really did decline.
For sure, Dapradar, the analytics firm, showed NFT trading volume kept falling. Even into 2025, it dropped below $1 billion in Q2.
Yeah.
This wasn't just a blip. It was a sustained, painful downturn. Lots of projects struggled, community shrank, confidence evaporated.
And we saw huge NFT collections, the ones everyone thought were invincible, really take a hit.
Absolutely. They faced massive challenges just staying relevant, let alone holding value.
Like Bored Ape Yacht Club, BAYC, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
The ultimate status symbol, celebs buying in, magazine covers.
The absolute darling of the NFT world.
Peaked at, what, 153 ETH, just before the Terra crash, made people paper millionaires overnight.
And now?
Now the floor is around 13, maybe 14 ETH, a massive drop.
Wow.
Or CryptoPunks, the OGs, right, the original blue chip, hit 125 ETH back in August 21, fell hard after FTX, now sitting around 53 ETH.
So even the giants, the market bellwethers, felt the full impact of that long bear market. Their struggles just reinforced that whole NFTs are dead narrative.
But, and this is the kick, here's the counter narrative, Pudgy Penguins. What makes them such a unique case study
is that they defied gravity.
Exactly. While everyone else was bleeding value, Pudgy Penguins' floor price climbed from under 1 ETH to over 15 ETH today.
Not only did it resist the downward trend, it surged. While its peers were just trying to stay afloat. It's fascinating how one project, by pivoting smartly and building that wider brand appeal beyond just crypto folks, could completely buck the market trend.
And even surpass collections that used to dwarf it. Pudgy Penguins now ranks higher than BAYC by floor price.
That's remarkable, given where they came from.
Truly remarkable. And what's even more interesting, maybe, is that this NFT resurgence, especially for projects like Pudgy Penguins, seems to be happening alongside this other trend, a rise in physical collectibles.
Ah, yeah. It's not just a crypto thing. It feels like a broader cultural shift, like people just want to collect stuff again.
We're seeing renewed excitement for collectibles everywhere, right? Way beyond digital. Like eBay, the e-commerce giant,
Mm-hmm.
their Q2 earnings call. They reported a solid 6% revenue bump, $2.7 billion. And they specifically called out rising interest in physical collectibles, Pokemon cards, things like that.
That's a huge traditional market signaling a real shift in consumer behavior.
Yeah.
People want tangible, collectible assets.
Luca Netz definitely noticed this. He said, Pokemon is hot right now. You can buy a Pokemon card 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, it's worth double. It's insane.
That kind of rapid appreciation in physical stuff, it's a powerful, real-world sign that the collecting bug is back in the mainstream.
And Netz's insight from that is pretty key, I think. He said, that's a good signal to me that people are starting to kind of explore in collectibles again. When physical collectibles do well, digital collectibles follow.
He sees this connection, this symbiotic relationship, like physical is a leading indicator for digital.
Yeah.
And it's not just Pokemon. Look at the Labubu phenomenon.
Ah, Labubu. Those cute, slightly creepy creatures.
Exactly. From a Hong Kong artist made by Pop Mart, they've become huge fashion accessories, cultural items, especially in Asia, but increasingly global. And a big part of the appeal, the mystery packaging. Blind boxes.
Right, the thrill of the chase. You don't know what you're going to get.
Totally taps into that primal thrill of chance and surprise, makes every purchase a mini treasure hunt, drives repeat buys. It's brilliant gamification with a tangible reward. I mean, someone reportedly sold a rare Labubu for $10,500 on eBay.
Wow. Okay, so serious collectible value there, too.
Yeah, definitely beyond just being toys.
And like Netz predicted, digital collectibles are following suit, mirroring this physical success.
Yeah, we're seeing cool projects bridging those worlds, like Courtyard. It's a blockchain platform for tokenized physical collectibles.
So you own the physical thing, but the ownership is on the blockchain.
Exactly. Like a rare Pokemon card, its ownership is tied to a token. Transparent, secure. It's one of the top NFT projects this year. And they have this cool vending machine feature.
A vending machine.
Yeah, where you buy digital booster packs, like Pokemon or sports cards. It's a random draw, chance to hit a rare digital asset. Just like Labubu's mystery boxes or cracking open a physical pack. It merges that physical collecting thrill with digital ownership.
Tapping into that same psychology, discovery, ownership.
Precisely. And this whole convergence, this renewed interest in both physical and digital collecting, it's definitely boosted optimism in the NFT market.
Net seems much more bullish now.
Yeah, he said recently, out of the last 4 years, this is the most promising. That's a big shift in sentiment from the dark days of the bear market. He really believes that when retail comes in, there's nothing more fun in crypto than minting and collecting NFTs. I'll always believe that.
It feels like a return to the fun, engaging side of digital ownership, maybe moving beyond just pure speculation, fueled by this wider collecting trend.
Yeah, maybe a sign the market's maturing, finding more stable footing.
So Pudgy Penguins isn't just stopping at toys and NFTs. They've got this grander vision, right? Super ambitious.
Oh, yeah. Their stated goal is audacious, to become the mascot for crypto.
A mascot for crypto. That's huge. Not just a project, but a cultural symbol.
Exactly. Connecting it to the bigger picture. It's about building this lasting brand identity that goes beyond just one asset type, beyond the current blockchain cycles. They want to be that friendly, recognizable face that introduces mainstream folks to the whole crypto world.
Like a Mickey Mouse for Web3, you said.
Sort of, yeah. A universally recognized symbol that makes this abstract crypto stuff relatable, maybe even lovable.
And they're actively expanding within the crypto ecosystem to try and achieve that, not just sticking to Ethereum NFTs.
Right. December 2024, they launched Penguin, a Solana-based meme coin.
A meme coin. Explain that quickly.
Sure. It's a type of crypto often inspired by internet memes, usually more about viral community fun and cultural relevance than deep tech utility. Penguin was launched with this massive $1.5 billion airdrop.
An airdrop, so giving it away.
Yeah, strategically dropping tokens into loads of existing crypto wallets. Creates instant buzz, gets wide distribution, a pretty rare scale for a brand-backed token.
Did it work?
Well, the token price did crater initially, which happens a lot with new meme coins, volatile stuff. But it's recovered since then, importantly, backed by the momentum of the main Pudgy Penguins brand, the NFT success.
And even some institutional interest.
Yeah.
An ETF.
Yeah, an exchange-traded fund application by a firm called Canary hints at potential broader integration. Netz himself, he draws this analogy from The Founder, the movie about Ray Kroc and McDonald's. He says, arches, Penguins?
Arches Penguins. Wow.
He pictures a future where Pudgy Penguins' assets aren't just collectibles, but held in institutional ETFs, maybe even company treasuries, cementing them as a financial and cultural staple in the digital economy. It's a massive ambition.
That's aiming for McDonald's level ubiquity. Incredible. And it speaks to his whole philosophy on how they built the brand during the chaos, doesn't it? He said something like,
Yeah, he reflected, that ended up working in our favor because while everything else was blowing up and projects in crypto were taking their communities for millions, we built the brand the right way when nobody else was doing it.
taking their communities for millions. What's he referring to there?
He's talking about that period of chaos where many projects were chasing short-term gains, maybe engaging in questionable stuff like pump and dumps, unsustainable tokenomics, rug pulls, basically enriching founders or insiders at the expense of the community.
While they were focused elsewhere.
Exactly. Pudgy Penguins, meanwhile, was methodically building fundamental brand value, tangible products, broad cultural reach, transparency. This long-term, almost disciplined approach, born from needing to survive, has proven incredibly resilient. It shows that substance can actually outlast hype.
Okay, but we should be realistic too. Despite this amazing story, a real beacon of hope, the overall NFT market is still far from its 2021 peak.
Definitely not back to the frenzy days.
And we know these bursts of enthusiasm in crypto can fade fast. The market, while showing life, still feels fragile, right?
Absolutely. The broader market is still sensitive, still reacts to external stuff, sentiment shifts. But what we're clearly seeing is that digital collectibles with strong, well-done physical counterparts like Pudgy Penguins.
They seem to be doing consistently better.
Yeah, they're emerging as one of the few segments showing consistent, measurable growth in an otherwise stagnant NFT market. That hybrid approach, digital scarcity plus tangible appeal, seems to be a key differentiator. It offers resilience and broader appeal that purely digital projects often struggle with.
Which brings us back to Luca Netz's ultimate bet. His pivot to toys, that huge social media reach. It kept the brand alive, thriving even, while others just faded away.
He's betting that by carefully building this strong cultural brand, one that resonates way beyond just the blockchain nerds, through characters, through physical stuff, it will outlast the blockchain cycles that nearly killed it.
It's a bet on enduring appeal over fleeting hype, on brand over just tech.
It's a fascinating model, and maybe an increasingly vital one for future Web3 projects trying to build something sustainable in this crazy, fast-moving landscape.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've seen how Pudgy Penguins, led by Luca Netz, went from near collapse to this thriving cultural brand, looking at $50 million in revenue.
An incredible journey.
Their pivot to physical toys, that smart, unconventional use of Instagram for mass reach, riding the wave of the wider collectibles market, all crucial pieces.
And I think the big takeaway here, the lesson for anyone in Web3 or really any innovative field, is just how vital adaptability and strategic foresight are, especially when things change so fast.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the best innovation isn't more tech or digging deeper into niche communities.
Right. Sometimes it's about creatively bridging digital innovation with tangible, relatable consumer products, building a brand that appeals broadly, finding that sweet spot between Web3's potential digital ownership and Web2's proven strengths in distribution, marketing, mass appeal.
It's not just a success story. It feels like a potential blueprint for building lasting brand value in a volatile tech world. Maybe digital first doesn't have to mean digital only.
Exactly. Pudgy Penguins shows that sometimes the real power lies in remembering those timeless ways of connecting with people through tangible, relatable experiences.
Right.
It makes you ask, are Web3 projects building speculative assets, or are they building brands that can actually survive the market cycles?
That's spot on. And it leaves us with a really provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on. As you think about the future of digital assets, the evolving market, what other digital-first innovations, VR, AI content, the metaverse, whatever, might find unexpected success by creatively bridging into the physical world? Or by radically adapting their strategy to reach a more traditional mainstream audience?
Definitely something to mull over. And hey,
Yeah.
if you found this deep dive valuable, we'd genuinely appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, absolutely. And leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the Pudgy Penguin story. Did you see this coming?
And maybe share this deep dive with others who might find it interesting. Your engagement, honestly, it really helps support us, boosts visibility, and lets us keep making more deep dives like this one for you.
Thanks so much for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.